Many of you have seen this place, I suppose.
No. How many of you have been here before? Yes.
Because normally only groups who come for Mass enter this one. This is called the Crusaders Chapel. It's not really a chapel, I mean, now it's a chapel nowadays, but it was part of the Crusader building. As you know, the Basilica on its western side had a large Crusader palace. It was the palace of the Patriarch, which is now occupied by the Kanka Mosque. The whole mosque, the Kanka Islamic Waqf, is placed where the old Patriarchate used to be. So even our monastery, our small monastery, is practically part of this old Patriarchate, and we have managed to get to some of the old of the Kanka Waqf property into our own monastery, and we live in this place with obvious difficulties sometimes. This is one of the fine example of Crusader art. I don't know what it was in Crusader times. It could have been stables, I don't know, or something with, or a storehouse, anyhow. But nowadays it's a chapel. Now we are practically we are looking. Okay, let me remember. So this is the southern part, the northern part. That is the western part. Okay, that is west. Now on that side there is the famous St. Mary's Gate, which you know on the Christian Quarter Road. And I've been asked, where is the interior part of this gate? The interior part of that gate could be, I suppose, it should be in one of the shops. In one of the shops. But I don't know which one. It's very difficult to know. As you know, St. Mary's Gate used to be the entrance to the Patriarchate, no? The entrance to the Basilica from the west. In fact, in this small courtyard, there are steps going up. Okay? We have steps going up with Crusader columns. And those steps stop at a certain place. Then there is our small, we call it a divano, a small meeting room, very small one. And at the back of it, there is a wooden screen, wooden wall, and behind it there are shops. So it could be there, okay? It should be there. But I don't know whether from the inside it still exists, or it's been plastered over, or one has to go into these. We have tried in the past, not now, to, in a certain way, to get access. Because as you know, we are closed in. As a community, we can't go out. We have no outside contact at night, except on Saturdays and some other days. And status quo prohibits us from having any other exit except the main door of the Basilica. And I heard that there were, obviously, there was great interest to sell some property to the custody so that we could have an external door, asking exorbitant sums of money, obviously, because they would know that for us it's important. But even if we got it, I don't think we would be able to make use of it. So I suppose St. Mary's Gate will remain as it is. I've noticed that they placed a small sign now on it, a small explanation. At least there is a kind of screen, because, as you know, before they used to hang there everything on this gate. For this part, that's the only thing I can say. There's I suppose you all know about the good 3 or 4 volumes of Dennis Springer, Crusader. Yes. If you take that book, there is a good explanation of the whole Basilica, the whole Sepulchre. I read it once. I think I will have to refresh myself on it, because it's very interesting. Regarding the study of the Crusader part. As you know, the Basilica is Crusader, so...
Can you also tell us a little bit about the more modern things, like presents from Franz Josef or other, like, yes. You know, these obviously are things brought from Europe.
Yeah, I'm not that expert on it. The only thing I can say is that some presents have been taken over, as you know, last year for exhibitions in Versailles, and they are now back. One of the most important presents especially the presents used to come or from Austria, or more from Austria, from Venice, from the Venetians, is this bas-relief of the resurrection in the chapel. From where we entered, there is an enormous silver bas-relief that used to be inside the edicule. When the edicule used to be, practically the whole edicule was Latin in the style and everything. That used to be inside. Obviously now it's
in the chapel of
yes,
Apparition to Mary?
No. Yeah, exactly. The Apparition to Mary. There is on the side. There is a large bas-relief of silver bas-relief. Okay. It's beautiful. You can see it when you go up.
Okay.
Yes.
Many years ago, I had the opportunity to visit Venice, somewhere there are catacombs with huge oil jars.
You were
Do you know
lucky.
where how do you get in?
You are lucky. I've never been in. I've heard that Father Eugenio Aliata used to get students in. And I've also heard, because here sometimes you go on by hearsay, unfortunately. I've heard that the entrance has been blocked
I was
by
there
some
a couple
masonry.
of months ago,
Yeah?
but not from here, but from one of the adjacent rooms.
Okay.
And it's it's very rare to go inside. It was just because archaeologists went down to see them.
Exactly. You have to be with a group of archaeologists. I also heard that, in our archaeologist, Virgilio Corbo, in the 1960s, when he was doing the soundings here, he also opened a place which is close to this area, where we keep our benches and our ladders under the organ. There is one of a pothole there, and you go inside. That's what I've been told, and it arrives very close to the tomb. Okay. Obviously, when after the archaeological finds were done, practically it's being prohibited to take anybody inside. As usual, obviously, no, it could be very interesting to know what lies underneath. Obviously, even sometimes I get a bit confused because the tomb, as it is today, is a bit raised. I think the level could have been lower. If you go also if you imagine the Constantine Basilica, and you go down to Saint Helen's Chapel, okay, the level is very, 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 very low. So the Martyrion Basilica was okay, lower maybe than the Anastasis, but was it that low? You see, I think it's very interesting but obviously